Good morning, everybody, and this is your S&P 500 day trade setups for today. So as expected, we are stretching for that 4,300 area. We are extremely oversold, as you can see, overbought, as you can see by the oscillators grouping together like this. And remember, whenever they group together like this on the 8-hour, they typically tend to have some kind of a pullback. We're in an upward trend, definitely not looking to be short on the long term. And the other thing that you've got here is a bit of a flag forming. If you just draw a line along the top here and along the bottom, that'll give you your flag, and your flag target is pretty much the bottom of the first bar that actually formed that flag. So for me, that is what we need to pay attention to. You can see that's where all the interaction is, and that's at 41.86. So 41.86 to 4200, that's the zone that I would be waiting for longs. We are in an upward trend. We've got all the moving averages crossed over. We're clearly an upward trend. You can see making a series of higher highs and higher lows. So just looking a little bit tired at the moment. If we move across to the 3-hour chart, you'll see the flag a lot more clearer. Now you've got 1, 2, 3 lines on the top to touch and 1, 2 at the bottom. So that's 5 touches of the flag. I just draw your lines in and you see there's my flag. So you should get away with a short scalp if you're prepared to take the risk. But if you don't have your stop loss in, you are going to get burnt. I would still say that 4,300 is the area, and the exact level is 43.09. So this is the area that you'd want to be paying attention to for a move back down to come and find support in one of these areas. Me, I'm not interested in that short. I'm only interested in going with the trend. So I will wait at these different levels for an opportunity to buy. If we move through to the 1 hour, you'll see a couple of things here. So big move up, we formed a flag, and that was a bull flag yesterday. It came back. We didn't quite get some structure, and that's because we had all these gaps here. So we'll look at it on the 15-minute as well. But we broke through, came back to test the flag, and then that was pretty much your entry there. So if we just look at it on the 15 minutes, it'll give you indication of what happened. See, here's where we drifted lower, no real structure. So if I just use, so you can see there's a whole lot of tails, nothing really. There was a bit of support, something happened there. Even if you look to the left here, that probably was the closest fractal, this one right here, and see we didn't get to it. So very difficult to pick up, extremely difficult to pick up. I think there's your break inside bar, and then you've got a break above the level here. No attempt to retest it, but if you get your level in, there's your second flag. So big move up, and normally when you have a strong move like this, you have a pullback, you have a second move. So this little pattern here would have been worth looking at. But again, I would have been waiting for a level. So I would have been waiting for 42, 45. So didn't really get a trade here yesterday. But there was quite a few situations here where you could have got that. The first one, although 72 points, and this is the second one here. But not quite off any structure. Anyway, for today, let's just get to the hour, get our structure. So there is a weekly high there. Remember, this is Monday's move, so that is, we're above the weekly high. And again, you can see the oscillators on the hour eased off quite nicely, and then big acceleration up. So for me at the moment, I want to see a pullback onto 42.82, and I'm looking for 43.09 or 4300. What we could also do is just range here and then break through and try and find support and be really messy around this number, because 4300 is a big number we need to get through. And the reason for that is on the 3-hour, on the weekly, you'll see all the interaction here at this 4300. We try to find support here a couple of times last year and this year. So that's kind of where we are. Oscillators, not oscillators, but the moving averages are starting to cross over again on the weekly. So this is just forming a massive flag in my opinion. So for today, what we're looking for is, there is a gap here, there's another gap further down. So any pullback into this area here, and I'm just going to put one more level in, which will handle the next gap. So any pullback onto 42.82, I'm looking for price action, and that would be an inside bar, engulfing bar, or pin bar. and you can see inside bar, engulfing bar, there's another one, the inside bar there. So any of those price action patterns on 42.82 and 42.73 will get me long again. If we start dropping below the low of yesterday, that's where all bets are off. We should probably be looking for a bit of a deeper pullback, and that would be somewhere down to 41.86 area. But for as long as we're in this upward trend, and you can draw your trend line as well, so if you get in, you can just keep going with the trend until it stops going, and that's pretty much what you need to be doing. So anyway, that's kind of my view at the moment. So this could be a bit of a range forming. Pay attention to the oscillators on the hour. See what happened yesterday. During the European session, we drifted lower and then shot up. So I anticipate you're probably going to drift sideways or sideways to down, and the oscillator is going to do exactly what they did yesterday for another attempt to get through 4,300. And I expect that to happen 3 times. So we can count this as the first one. I think we're kind of at 43 if I'm right. Yeah, 43.03. So treat this one as the first one. You're going to get another attempt and then another attempt. It could be in a range, or it could come down like this, go up, come down, go up. So either we're going to form a bigger range, or we are going to basically find support here. But this is your target area between 43 and 43.09. So you don't want to be jumping in up there. You want to wait for deeper pullbacks before getting there. Anyway, that's it for me today. Pay attention to 4,300 this week, because if we get a weekly close above that, it opens up the next 4,400, which will be the next 100-point move. Anyway, that's it. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.